Okay, Paul, welcome to the Do Big Things podcast, man. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. Of course. You just ran across the state of Iowa, and it was the
Yeah.
fastest known time. So I got to hear all about this, man. Like, you live in Iowa. I'm assuming you're from Iowa. But how did this whole thing start? How did this originate?
So I'm not actually from Iowa.
Oh,
I'm living in Iowa, though. I'm from Nebraska,
okay.
unfortunately. And so I moved to Iowa for school, but both my parents are from Iowa. So that's kind of how I got my relationship with the state. And then, yeah, I was kind of doing 100 milers and stuff. And then I came across I was doing some scrolling on the fastest known website, and I was like, I wonder if this one across Iowa. It's like, boom, this one across Iowa. So I was like, I want to do that. So then I was like, when's my spring break? Because I was like, I knew I was going to need some time off. So it's like, all right, my spring break's in March. And then that was probably like maybe 9 or 10 months ago, and I had it on the date set then.
Okay.
So I was going after the year.
So you've been planning this for quite a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I know.
Nice. Cool, man. What are you studying in school? It looks like you're it looks like a dorm room right now.
I'm in a dorm room. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. I'm doing digital media production, but I think I'm actually dropping that.
Oh, really?
I'm on my fourth major now. I think I'm going to go to physical education.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we're moving around for sure.
Cool. Well, right on, man. And how old are you, Paul?
I'm 20. Yeah.
20. Okay. So when I was 20, I was a straight up knucklehead and spending my weekends like drinking too much and pretty much being an idiot. You're 20 years old and running across the state of Iowa. Like,
Yeah.
where does this come from with you? Have you been running your whole life? Have you always had this sort of big ambition inside of you?
Yeah, so I actually didn't run at all in high school. None.
Okay.
So I picked it up after I graduated. I used to be a swimmer. And my good buddy Jeff used to train me. And he was actually an ultra runner.
Okay.
So that's how I found the sport of ultra running, is because he used to be an ultra runner himself. So if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never known
Really?
about ultra running.
Okay.
So I found about him, and then so I used to swim all year round. That was kind of my thing. And then that ended. I was like, man, I need something to fill my time. So I kind of kicked it around. I did a half marathon, and then I did an Ironman, and then a 50K, and then decided to go just strictly into the ultra world.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were swimming in high school. That was most of your swimming right there.
Yep.
Okay. And you were swimming competitively.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you pretty good?
I was okay. I made state my senior year, so
Okay.
that's probably my highlight. I didn't do anything crazy though. No.
Yeah. No, that's stout. Okay. And then you were just tossing the idea around of running as like almost something to do in the off season.
Right.
And what did you say your first race was?
So I did a half marathon.
Okay. And
And
how did
that's
that
the
go?
only road race I've done to this day, and I plan to keep it that way.
Didn't you just run across the state of Iowa on roads?
That's true, but like
Okay.
strictly road, I like the trails, man.
Yeah. Me too.
But
Okay.
other than that, I usually try to avoid the road.
Yeah. Your first half marathon, did you do fairly well? Are you naturally sort of gifted, or was it fast? Was it slow?
It was fine. It was like maybe about 750 pace or 747. So I mean nothing extraordinary or anything. I mean running is not like, it definitely didn't come natural to me.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do any running in high school. I did middle school track, and I was always like basically getting last and everything. So yeah, I mean running, I just kind of worked my way up. Just kept on adding more miles and just kept going after it. So
yeah, it sounds like it.
mean,
Why running? You said that it was from your buddy. Did you say his name was Jeff Gregg?
No, Jeff Mork. Jeff Mork.
Okay. So you said it was from your buddy that he kind of introduced you to the world of ultra marathon, but like, why did you take up running? If it sounds like it wasn't something you grew up with, why not bowling or lacrosse or,
Yeah, that's it. That's a good question. So I think some of it was like, I really liked the challenge that running presented. And I used to be a swimmer. So I was used to kind of doing like something like cardio that really kind of got the heart racing.
Mhm.
And I mean, I did swim practices in high school I remember we did one that was 15,000 meters. So it was a 9-mile swim practice.
Whoa.
So for me, I was always like, I can swim 9 miles. I definitely could run 9 miles.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of got into that attitude, and running I just kind of liked it because like if I ever did any lifting or anything, I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know how many sets to do, how many reps, or how much weight to do. But running, I could just go out and run,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter. Like there really wasn't. I mean, I know there's like you can focus in on your form on running if you have to, but for me, I was just going out, I was just running, and that was like my way to continue to kind of work out, and it was just like easy for me to figure out how to do it.
Yeah. So you chose running for the simplicity of it. You could just put on a pair of shoes and head out the door. You don't need a expensive bike. You don't need any equipment. You don't have to travel somewhere to find snow or a mountain. You can just go out the door and go.
Right.
Cool. Cool. I like it. And so how long ago was this that you ran that first half marathon? Was that recently or was it a few years back?
So that was in the summer of 2019.
Okay. Okay. So just a few years.
Yeah.
And then you got into, you said you did an Ironman. Did you do a full Iron?
I did a full Ironman, but it got canceled. So I did it in my hometown. So I just did the whole thing like by myself.
No
I mean,
way.
I had some buddies swim with me. I had my friend Jeff run with me, but I did the bike alone, and it was just like I just planned it out. I was like, all right, I got to do 2.4 miles in my friend's little pond. So I counted out how many laps it would be. I did that, and then I planned out a 112-mile bike ride, and then the marathon.
So you were signed up for an actual Ironman event and it got canceled due to COVID?
Yeah, I was signed up for actually a half Ironman.
Oh,
and then that got canceled. Like, whatever, I'm just doing the whole one. Let's just go for it. Yeah. So I did it, and it was really bad because it was like the day I made it under. I did it in 15 hours, so it was nothing special. But I did complete it under the 17.
Yep.
The day I picked for it, it was 95 degrees out, and the wind was 20. It was over 20 miles an hour. So it was like the worst. It was so miserable for the conditions to do an Ironman, but I did do it. I did do it.
Wow. That's legit, man. I mean, I've done an Ironman, so I know what's involved there. And doing it on your own without crowd support, without people. I mean, you probably had a few people cheering you on.
Yeah. I had some family and some friends hype me up. So it wasn't like there was no one, but
sure. That's still a long day to be out there on your own, man. Like
for sure.
Was there any point throughout that day where you thought, man, I don't know if I'm going to finish this thing. Maybe this isn't the day to do it. I'll come back and do it in a couple of weeks.
No, I mean, there was some parts I was like, man, I just can't wait for this thing to be over. I just want to, this sucks, man. Yeah. But when you get all the family out there and everyone hyping you up and people take the day out to spend it with you, like that's like always a good motivation. Like, yeah, you got to finish this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm guessing that you mainly just got into this triathlon thing because you were a swimmer and then you took up running. And so the only thing missing was biking. Do you have a bike? Do you consider yourself a cyclist?
So I want to do an Ironman because I saw the Iron Cowboy, the 50 documentary on Netflix. I was like, that's freaking badass. Nice. And it's just crazy because now he did 100. I don't know if you saw that. Which is he's the coolest guy ever. So I actually bought one of his training plans. So that was back, he would like sell like a $40 training plan. So I bought and I just followed that thing to the T. Okay. And that guy's like super nice. Like I send him like I'd be like messaging him and he would send me like videos back of like how to complete the plan or whatever. Really? And he's like got 200,000 on Instagram. He's still like messaging, sending videos back, trying to help out people. Wow. Which is freaking cool. That's cool. But yeah, answer your question for the bike. Yeah, I had done a little bit of biking. I actually did my first 100-mile bike ride like my freshman year in high school.
Oh, you there?
Oh yeah, sorry. I think you just cut out for a little bit.
Oh,
I
sorry,
can
man.
I can restart there for you.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
100. I did my first. I had a little bit of experience cycling. I did a 100-mile bike ride with my dad my freshman year of high school. So I had a little bit, and
So was your dad a cyclist? I mean,
no, I mean
no.
he just
Okay.
like messes around on it. Yeah,
Well, 100 miles, I mean, triple
that's true.
digits.
That's true. I don't want to throw him under the bus. Like he's done Ragbri, and
Okay. Okay.
he's done some centuries, but he's not like super into the scene or anything.
Sure, sure. Now, what did you say? The RAGBRAI, is that? I'm trying to remember. That's like I don't remember exactly what the acronym's for, but that's a bike ride across Iowa, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the acronym is either, but it is. It's a bike ride across.
Ride across Iowa or something crazy. But
Right.
from what have you ever done that?
I was actually signed up for when then the COVID canceled it. So
Oh, really? COVID wrecked you, man. You got
I
Ironman. Okay. Well, I heard that bike ride is a huge party. There's just hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of people, and it's really
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I've done the ride down Wisconsin. That's where I'm
Okay,
originally
cool.
from, but I've never done the Iowa one.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So, okay. So, you did your Ironman, did it in under 15 hours. So technically you are an Ironman.
Right.
And then, ultra marathons, man, you said you dove into 50Ks at that point. And again, you're a young guy. Like, what are you doing on the weekends out running all these crazy miles when you could be chasing girls or doing something else?
Right. Yeah. So I had done the 50K before the Ironman,
Okay.
and then but other than that, yeah. So I don't know. Like that was kind of like it kind of turned into my life. Like it was like this last year before my Hitchcock 100 in Iowa. It was like I live 4 hours from Hitchcock, and I was going down there every single weekend for probably 2 months straight. 4-hour drive, crashing with my aunt, and then just grabbing miles on the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, drive back to school, and then that was it. And same thing in the summer. It was just like drives to Hitchcock is where I usually do all my training. Okay. And I just kind of become obsessed with it. Like I just kept training, kept going, kept signing up for more races.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's so cool, right? But I'm just trying to figure out like how and why you got obsessed with that.
Right. I don't know. Like I just did I just loved how long the races were and the challenge. And nice thing about ultrasignup.com is like you just scroll on there and there's 1,000 races to pick from. Right. So I mean, I just loved it. I just had so much fun picking a race, and the people are super cool. I've like met so many like good friends. I mean, they're all like 40 and 50, most of them, but they're like some of my best friends. And I just love spending time on the trail with them. It's just cool. And that's cool. Ever since I started ultra running, it's been cool the places that I've got to see. Like I went to Zion, I went to Utah, I've been to Tennessee, Michigan. So like it's been fun to see like where this sport's kind of taken me. Yeah,
100%. Now, how many hundreds have you done at this point?
So I've done 3 actual 100 milers. I did Zion, No Business, and Hitchcock. Those are all the hundreds. And then I've done 2 backyard ultras that I've hit the 100-mile distance in. So I did Ohio backyard. That was actually my first time I ever hit 100 was at Ohio backyard. Okay. And then I did Ode to Last, which I did 120 at.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been to the 100-mile distance, 5 or 6 times. 6 times if you include your trip across Iowa. You've been over 100 miles a handful of times. So
sure.
I think that's pretty legit for somebody your age. Do you know anybody that's your age that's run that much?
I do know. I've met one guy. I think he's 19 or 20, and he did No Business.
Okay.
So I've kind of connected with him on social media a little bit. Yeah. Because we have a lot in common. We're both just like college kids just doing it, and there's not a lot of us out there.
Totally.
So,
Totally.
but other than that, no, nope.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I think it's cool. You're a college kid, and while everyone else is out partying on the weekends, you're out running, trying to catch miles, going to your aunt's house and training.
Right.
I think it's the coolest thing in the world. But
Yeah.
like I said, when I was your age, that was the last thing on my mind, man. So
Right.
just chase this thing down. Who knows where it's going to go?
Sure.
I think it's tremendous. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Okay, man. So you decide, you got it in your head, you're going to run across the state of Iowa.
Mhm.
How did you decide, like, first of all, like the direction? I think you went east to west.
Right.
Why not north to south? Why not west
Right.
to east?
So the FKT, the previous FKT, or the only one that's on the site. There's been a handful of people that have ran across Iowa just like on their own, just for fun. But the fastest route that Taylor Ross, he made the route so he could be the and he crossed Iowa in the fastest known time to that point.
Okay.
There's actually Pete Kostelnik, is that his name? Kostelnik. He's that guy ran across America in 42 days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he's from Iowa actually.
Ah,
So if he wants it, he could blow me out of the water.
okay.
But so he had the previous record, and that was from when he crossed the United States. His Iowa record was previously, it was 4 days and 11 hours, and he did that on the way through the U.S. So absolute mind blowing.
Wow.
And then Taylor broke that, and then to become the fastest known man, because it still was faster than Pete, but Pete just had done the whole U.S. for God's sake. And then I saw Taylor's, so I was like, all right, I'm going to see if I can beat Taylor's time. So I followed. He had his exact route, so I followed his exact route that he did, like curve for curve. I had the Strava app. Like if he went around the block to go to the bathroom, I went around the block and followed that.
So every single step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so across Iowa, it looks like it was 279, almost 280 miles. It sounds like.
Yep.
And you did it in 94 hours, 49 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the previous FKT? Do you remember?
It was 4 days, 11 hours, or 4 days. Shoot. I think it was 111 hours. I don't know what that turns out. So 4 days, 15 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you took off, what was it, like 7 hours, something like that?
So from his record, I think I shaved off about 15 or 16 hours.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So I was just under 4 days.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
He was 4 days, 15, because he was 111 with 96 plus 111.
Okay.
It's about, yeah.
And were you in contact with him throughout any of this?
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, I wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for him, because he actually, that day too, he came and ran with me for 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
So like he was like rooting for me. Like if he really wanted to, he could have been like, dude, you're on your own. I wanna hold on to this record. And that day too is not as good as it would have been. Because without him, day two is supposed to be a big struggle, coming off a big 70-mile day the day before. You still got 3 days left. So he really pushed me through that day. So I was able to get 70 on that second day. And thanks to him.
Wow.
So put me in a good position.
How much of that did he run with you? Was it the whole day or just part of it?
So he basically from 35 to 70, he was with me.
Ah, nice.
So, coolest guy ever.
Wow.
It was really cool.
And it sounds like this was like almost a family event.
Yeah.
It sounded like you had your whole family out there, parents, aunts, uncles, even grandparents.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. So my parents and my girlfriend, they followed me the whole way.
Okay.
And they were the crew because it was a supported FKT. So they would.
So did you have like a van or something out there following you?
It was just my mom's car.
Okay.
So I had everything stuffed in there, and they would drive about an hour ahead, and then I'd get some food, water, then they'd drive another hour ahead. So depending on the day, that would be 3 to 5 miles probably. 3 to 6, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 miles increments across the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
So like without them, like there's no way I get that thing done. I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, you ran across Iowa. I was like, I didn't run across Iowa. Me and my team went across Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Because FKT, if you think about it, it's kind of selfish if you look at it in the big picture. It's like one guy runs across Iowa, everyone's there to support him. But so it was them that got me through. It was definitely a team effort.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it takes a village to get some of this stuff done,
sure.
man. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank goodness you have a loving support system to come out and help you. I think
Right.
that's really cool, man. Yeah, man. So I'm just picturing you and your family out there just day after day grinding this thing out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, were the spirits pretty high most of the time, or were the spirits like, were you guys arguing? Were you in grumpy mood because you got to run so far, or what were things like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the first day, I mean, everyone's like, it's great. Everyone's like pumped up, like I'm running across Iowa, let's go. Finally been on the list for so long to do this thing. And then, second day, you wake up at 4:00, and I hate the mornings. And I start get tired, and I say that second and third day, definitely just everyone was just exhausted.
Really?
That I'd say that third day especially.
Okay.
Like I'd say second and third day, the crew, me, everyone's beat up.
Yeah.
But that fourth day, you come around, you're like, all right, home free, one more final victory lap here. But I'd say those middle 2 days were probably the toughest.
Yeah.
For sure.
So how much sleep were you averaging?
Yeah. So initially, my goal was to run 17 hours a day and do 70 miles a day, and then try to get as much as rest as I could.
Okay.
So by the first day, we stayed in a motel, literally right off the route. It was like on Highway 92. So I had ran for 16 hours that first day, and I wasn't sure how I would deal with like the sleep or the deprivation, because before the longest I had gone was like 30 hours being awake. Yeah. Looking back now, I kind of wish I would have, maybe tried to get 80, 85 that first day. And then keep tracking. But at the time, I didn't know. So I was like, all right, we're going to do 70, 70, 70, 70. So I got 16. By the time I got like showered up and got some food in me, I got about 4 hours of sleep. And then that second day, I ran for 18 and a half hours. And then by the time we had to actually drive to the hotel, we marked our spot. And then the next morning we drove back. So I was going to get about 3.5 hours of sleep that second night, maybe. And then that third day took me 23 hours to get the 70 miles. I was not having a good day. So I actually ran all night. I was like, my crew was like, you think you should get some sleep? And I had a horrible day, the whole day. For some reason, at nighttime, like right when the sun starts to set, I just get like hyped up and like I just start feeling good. So I actually I had some pacers come out, and I dusted my number one confidence booster is like when I dust a pacer. That's like the thing that like gets me the most excited. So
Yeah.
I actually dusted a couple pacers. And this is after like the worst day ever. I mean, the Pacers weren't runners, to be fair. Okay. They're just like my cousins. But I dusted them a little bit, and then I was pumped. My cousin, he was like Facebooking live the whole thing behind me for like 2 or 3 hours. So it's like 10 o'clock, and then I hired a running coach back in January for the first time. So it was good to get tips from him along the way. And he told me, he's like, if you're not sleepy, just keep going. I was like, all right. And then I was like, dang it, I'm not tired. I just wish I could be tired so I could say I could go to bed. I wasn't tired. I was pumped. So I made it the 70 miles, and I went 23 hours on day 3.
And then slept for how long?
Slept for an hour and a half.
Oh, that's rough.
Yep, hour and a half. And then I started getting some food in me, and then started the next day 4. And then we ran all the way from 8 o'clock in the morning, because I had slept for an hour and a half, but I also like eaten for an hour, changed clothes, brushed my teeth. So it was about 8 o'clock from when I started, and then from 8 to basically 4 a.m. the next day we ran. We didn't sleep at all.
Okay. And part of the reason I ask about your sleep is because we were talking about your crew, and they're sleep deprived out there too.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they're catching little naps here and there, but it's not like they're getting a solid 8 hours of sleep at any point.
Yeah, they were not getting the sleep that they needed either.
Yeah. So everybody's sleep deprived out there, just trying to get you across the state, man.
Yeah. My dad, so the third night, my girlfriend and my mom, they found a motel, and it was this was also another deciding factor of me not going to bed that third night. It's because the motel was like 45 minutes away from where we would have had to stop. So I would have had to mark the spot, drive 45 minutes to the place, and then wake up early, and then drive 45 minutes back. I was like, I'm not doing that. It's like, I'll just run the whole night. I'd rather do that. And I hate waking up. I was like, you don't have to wake up in the morning if you don't go to sleep. That was what I was thinking. Like, let's go. I don't have to deal with 4 a.m. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna stay awake the whole night. So that's what I did. And
that's good logic right there.
So my dad, yeah, for sure. So my dad, he was worried about me that last night because he's getting worried about me running on the highway. So he would drive literally a mile up at a time, and then he would fall asleep in the car because he was so tired. So I would like have to wake him up. He'd be like, oh, all right. I was like, I'm up. And then he would drive another mile and fall asleep. I'd wake him up, and that we basically did that all night.
Looking back across this whole thing, do you think, like, if you had a do-over, do you think you could go back and shave more time off of this? Like, now that you know the whole route, you've seen the whole thing, do you think you could go back and maybe take a couple hours off?
I think I could.
Yeah.
Probably not a whole lot.
Really?
Yeah, but
you were going pretty hard the whole time.
Yeah, it was. I think those last 2 days is what kind of made it. I think. I mean, maybe someone will come out. I know there's a lot of good runners out there that definitely could come out there, some elites, and just blow the water off of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's people doing Moab 240 in faster time than I crossed the state, but. I think it's going to be tough for some people to maybe get it just because those last 2 nights, those last 48 hours, I only slept an hour and a half.
Yeah, you pushed it.
So I think looking back, I was really happy that I did that. Because I could have probably slept maybe 5 hours that third night and, maybe some extra hours on that first couple nights and still been able to get the record. But I wanted to see how fast I could go. But to answer your question, I think if those first couple nights, I think if I would have not slept so much, or because I only ran 16 hours the first day, so looking back, I didn't know though how my body would deal with it. I think I could maybe take 3 or 4 hours off of it. If things went well, I also could go out there and then add another 10 hours. To what I did, for sure.
You never know how it's going to shake out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I didn't look on the website. Was this your first official FKT?
It was. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Well, congrats, dude.
Thank you.
How important was this to you? Like, you've been training for it for a long time. It had been on the list for a while. Did you just really want to get an FKT under your name to, I don't know, start getting more FKTs in the future? Or was this were you doing this because races had been canceled, or like, how did you land on this particular event?
Yeah. So I just thought it'd be like, just always being a fan of Iowa in general, the whole state. I just thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be a good challenge. It really, I'd say, and I thought I was like, I think I could do it. It really wasn't, at first it was like, I really want this record. I think that'd be cool to be the fastest person. But then by the end of it, I was like, yeah, the record's cool and all, but that journey was like amazing. Like, I got so much more out of it than just the record. Like, at the end of it, like, I could really kind of care less, like, what I came in at or the record. I was like, I just got to I got this amazing experience. All my family got pumped up for me, gathered around me. I had my 84-year-old grandpa come and run with me for like probably 5 or 6 minutes, but he was like, he goes out there and he's like, he wants to run with me. I was like, all right, cool. So, I mean, I'm not running the whole day. There's hiking and stuff in there. So I go out there and I'm just walking with him because I don't want him to like fall or anything, get injured.
Right.
And he's like, "Are we gonna start running or what?" I was like, "All right, let's go." So then we started running, which was amazing. He's 84 and he still wants to click off some miles with me,
Wow.
which was freaking awesome. So it's kind of like moments like those that definitely like kind of overshadow the record itself.
Well, yeah, 100%. Because when you're your grandpa's age, let's say, you're not going to be thinking about that record and how awesome it was that I broke that record. You're going to be thinking about the time you spent with people running with your grandpa, those special little moments that they're going to stick with you until the day you die. And that's the special stuff. So for sure, man. Yeah, it just sounds like just an awesome experience out there with your family. So were there any other FKTs you were looking at, like in the state of Iowa? Were you contemplating anything else, or did you know from the beginning we're going across the state, baby? That's what we're doing?
It was just like, I mean, it was basically just like I saw it and I was like, I'm doing it. That's freaking awesome. There's one across Iowa. Yeah. I want to do it. So, I mean, it was basically, I didn't even look at any other ones.
Nice. So as soon as you heard about it, it called your name and you knew that was it.
Exactly. For sure.
That's cool, man. What else is on the list, man? You're a young guy. You got a lot of years ahead of you. It sounds like you're fast. What else are you thinking? You got any other races or anything on the works?
Yes, I'm doing Bigfoot 200. Signed up for that one.
This year?
Broke the bank account a lot.
Yeah, of course.
So that's like that's what I'm kind of going all in for.
Okay. Nice.
So
remind me what month that is again?
It's in August.
August. Yep. Okay. Nice.
I'm hoping I haven't ran since my FKT. I feel like I could run. I just got like a little knee thing from the run, a little foot thing. But other than that, I'm feeling good. I'm hoping to get training hopefully back by Monday. And that's kind of be my A race. And then I'm going back to Barkley Fall Classic in September.
Oh, did you do that last year?
I did, and
how'd it go?
It was good. I got the 50K finish.
Oh, you did? Nice. Yep. Okay.
So it was the craziest race I've ever. It's probably the craziest race I've ever been in. It's just torrential downpour during Barkley Fall Classic, and then you're going up Rat Jaw, just getting poured on, and Testicle Spectacle. Everyone's just sliding down in the mud. People are getting lost. Like I'd come down Testicle Spectacle and like maybe 10 people in front of us went straight, and I got lucky because there's a guy coming back. He's like, "Oh, you got to go this way." And he was probably an hour ahead of me. And we got down to Testicle Spectacle and they're like, "You're in second place right now." I was like, "What?" So so it was cool. I ended up getting passed up and stuff like that. But the race was the craziest race. My water pack broke, so I couldn't get. I actually got a bagel. I was packing bagel. I'm a bagel guy, so I was packing bagels in my pack, and like the top of it, I got a bagel stuck in it. So no water. I just got a water jug strapped to the front. I'm running Barkley Fall Classic, and so if you see any pictures of me from BFC, I just have this giant water jug I'm running with. The front.
Like a gallon milk jug of water? Exactly. No way.
Yeah,
just
it wasn't filled up all the
front
way.
Or
heavy, but
oh jeez.
Yeah. It was
what would you say, what would you contribute your success of that race to? I mean, you finished the 50K. Not a lot of people are able to do that. Did you really study the course, or were you just ready for anything they threw at you, or a lot of training leading up to it, or what would you attribute your success to?
I would probably say I felt like my young age helped, like kind of on the obstacle part, because Barkley Fall Classic honestly felt kind of like an obstacle course.
That's what I hear.
Like crawling, like you're calling up Rat Jaw for like an hour and a half at a time. And stuff like that. So I'll say like stuff like that my young age probably played an advantage to that. But yeah, I mean, I was just ready for it, and I did not study the course. So they come out with a map, and I was like, people trying to explain this to me. I'm really bad with directions. Like, all right, whatever. I don't even understand this. I didn't look at my map the whole time. I was like, I'm just following the guy in front of me. Let's just hope he knows where he's going. So I did that. And I actually met one of my good buddies now in the parking lot. I slept in the parking lot of the American Legion. And now John Halter, he's one of my good buddies. And he was it's cool. That's one thing I also love about ultra running is a lot of the people I've got to meet across the way. Like I met another guy, Wesley, out at Ohio Backyard Ultra, and he comes and paces me at Zion. And I talked to him for 30 minutes at Ohio Backyard Ultra. He's like, dude, I'll come pace you in Utah. And he was living in Utah, but he moved. He probably drove 5-6 hours to come hang out with me. And then same thing with this guy John. And then John's out there sending me videos to hype me up on my run across Iowa. It's like things like that is like what definitely like keeps me in sport and makes me want to go and just log miles on the weekend when other people are doing other things.
Yeah. Well, you keep doing this stuff and you're going to keep on meeting more and more cool people, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So yeah, keep at it, man. I think it's cool. And when I look at your journey, it reminds me of my journey back when I was only a couple years into ultra running. It was the same type of thing, just making all these friends, signing up for every race, just going out every weekend, hitting it hard and just loving life, man. What does your typical training look like? Like, do you run big mileage during the week? I know you're not running now, but like before your run across Iowa, were you running big mileage to train for that?
Yeah. So basically my coach didn't have me doing super big mileage because he kind of flipped it on its head. He's like, you've just been hammering miles like crazy before. So we worked a little bit on fitness. And then I think I peaked 100-mile week was for the run across Iowa. But he's actually kind of reined me in a little bit. And it's like, dude, you got to start recovering. Your body's not recovering right. Because before I had a coach, I was kind of going out of control. Like with my miles, before I wanted to do a bigger training block for a race. So if I did an 80, 90, 80 for like 3 big weeks for a race, the next time I trained, I wanted to do 3 100s. And then the next time I trained for another race, I wanted to do bigger. So for my Hitchcock race, I did 100-mile week, then I did 110, and then I did 120. And it was just getting out of hand, and it wasn't really helping me. So he's like, dude, you got the endurance. You're not going to lose that. Because I had just picked him up in January and the thing was in March. So he kind of flipped it on its head. He's like, we're going to get you fit. We're going to kind of increase your speed a little bit, get you as fit as possible. And then as things got a little more close, he added the endurance. And so we did that. But I think the longest run I actually did was 33 miles from January to March, which was a lot different because before I would be hammering a lot bigger things. But I was like, all right, and Cliff Pittman's my coach out in Arkansas. So it's like, and Cliff, we trust, let's go. I'm taking his word, and it worked. And I feel the best I've ever felt. But yeah, I'd say probably we were doing 60 to 100-mile weeks leading up to the run across Iowa.
And did you feel like you had pretty good success with those numbers? Like, are you gonna continue that same sort of training for Bigfoot?
I'm not sure. I think it's gonna be a little longer block of endurance and a little longer block of fitness. Cause I mean, I picked him up in January and he put this thing, I just came off a Hitchcock 100 in December. So he had put this 8-week training block geared towards this together for me. So he says he usually, like for an A race, he likes to have like a good 5 to 6 months of training. So I think it's going to probably start kind of like a faster phase, like VO2 max stuff. And I think the endurance phase, this one was probably only 2-3 weeks because we didn't have that much time. But I think the endurance phase might be like a couple months or something. So it'll probably be a little more endurance for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like training by yourself or do you run with other people? Do you listen to headphones? Like,
yeah.
I'm just picturing, you're a young college guy. Are you running in the mornings? You running late at night? Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm actually an afternoon runner, so I'll run at like 2 p.m.
Okay.
That's
After
why like,
classes.
yeah, I do not like morning runs. I don't like running in the dark, so I usually don't run at night either.
Okay.
So I'd say afternoon. There's not a lot of people out here that I run with in college. So it's basically just me alone, and I'm bumping music.
Yeah.
But if I'm running with someone, I'll always talk to them. I love running with people. I'll pick running with someone over headphones any day.
Yeah.
So but on the weekends, if I have a longer thing, me and my buddies would try to meet up out at Hitchcock. I actually stayed up here probably the longest I've stayed up here getting ready for the run across Iowa, just because it was all concrete. So I didn't actually go to the trail.
Right.
But most of the time it's weekends or with friends. I try to at least one day, and then weekdays are just alone music.
Yep. Yeah. I get it. And then you training out in Hitchcock. I'm just curious, like what that looked like too. I mean, you said you were just staying at your aunt's, just racking up big miles. That's where the trails are. What was that like?
Yeah. So in Iowa, the trail running scene is not the best, but there's one really good trail out and on the border of kind of Iowa, Nebraska. So, and you can get the 100-miler's got like 21,000 feet of elevation gain. So for Iowa, it's like pretty dang good. So a typical weekend earlier this year, because as I said, I was staying up here basically after December, just because it was road. It didn't make any sense to go out there. But a typical week would be Friday. I'd get off of classes, pack up my car, drive to my aunt's, stay Friday night, wake up really early Saturday morning, usually with my friend Jeff. Maybe do 5-hour run. We'll do maybe like 20 miles. We usually would do 20, 25, maybe a 50K once in a while, but it was mostly this weekend's going to be 20, 25, and then Sunday basically, and then hang out with my cousins on Saturday, and then Sunday, wake up, do the same thing again, and then drive 4 hours back to school.
It sounds awesome. It sounds like the kind of life I love to live, man. It sounds cool.
It was fun.
That's cool, man. Do you ever think about like further down the road, a couple years down the road, like, you know, there's all these 200-mile races popping up across the country. Do you have any like races that are on your list that are, you know, I definitely want to do this? Like just talking to you, like, I think that if you came out to Colorado, I'm sure you would rip it up out here, and I'm sure you would have a blast in Colorado.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So races, I'd love to do Western States someday.
Nice.
I had one ticket this year, so hopefully, 6 or 7 years I'll be in.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
That's right. So maybe 27, 28, I could be running Western States, which I like the sound of.
That's cool.
UTMB would be cool. Had one, I don't even know what they call running stones or tickets. I was in the lottery for that, so I'd like to do that. I'd love to do the Barkley marathons. I'm not saying I would do good or anything. I'd probably be lost and suffering, but I think just to say you did that thing or tried that thing would be fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no shame in not finishing that race. Race is designed to make you not finish it. Even just finishing a lap or 3 laps at that thing is still a huge accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I have buddies that are total studs that have won 200-mile races, and they went out to Barkley and they're like, dude, I couldn't even do a lap. I was out there for 27 hours and I don't even know what happened. I was just lost.
I heard there was some guy like talking to a trash can this year. Like he was like so messed up. Like they found him. He was like talking to a trash can. He's like lost. That is crazy.
Did you have any moments like that when you were out there? Like not necessarily talking to a trash can, but any crazy hallucinations? Were there any points where you felt like you were losing it?
No, I've never had like a full-on hallucination, which I'm like waiting for. I'm like, come on, like I'm ready for one. But sometimes like the the plastic bags were turning into like little mice or something. Like they look like mice, like, or like the leaves on the ground were like spiders, and like I thought I saw like a hatchet out there. But I mean, it wasn't like a full on hallucination. It's just like your mind is playing tricks on you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, nothing crazy.
Okay. How did your body hold up? Did you have any injuries, or were you pretty fit the whole time?
I had a lot of things that would just kind of like come and go. It seemed like I'd say like my feet were like the thing that like hurt the most throughout the whole thing. But I said my feet. I mean, I just had stuff like here and there, like my knee would hurt for a couple hours, and then it would, it'd be something else.
Okay.
But I'd say for the most part, it was pretty solid. There wasn't anything that like really was holding me back. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And, you have youth on your side. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm probably twice your age, and
Right.
Running on all those roads just sounds painful to me, man. It sounds like my knees and everything would be shot after that.
It was a lot of it was asphalt, concrete, not the best time. But.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it sounds rough, and like at my age, looking at you at your age, I think, man, like if he's eating really well and taking care of himself at this point, he's probably going to last for years and years. Like, I'm curious what your fueling strategy was while you were out there running across Iowa. And do you normally eat a pretty healthy diet?
Yeah. So, normally I'll say I eat in the dining hall, but like, I'm not going to be the one to like grab a pizza or anything, or I just kind of pick like the healthy options. But like one advantage of being 20 is like you can get away with a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like you can just I'm not gonna like avoid the cookies or anything, but I'm not also like gonna go to town on pizza and then try to run 20 miles in the morning on it.
For
I'd
sure.
say I try to be smart with it, but I'm not like over the top.
Yeah.
I'd say in the future, like when I like get like 40 or 50, I'll definitely have that dialed. But right now, I'm just kind of having fun.
Perfect.
But I'll add, I don't drink or party or anything.
Gotcha.
So for me, I think like that's pretty key to recovery.
Yeah. How did you come to that decision? Because like I said, when I was your age, I was a knucklehead. And like, how are you smart enough to say, all right, I'm 20 years old, I'm going to refrain from partying and focus on my running for the next few years?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm actually turning 21 on Tuesday, and I'm not going to be drinking.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Nice.
For me, I think, I don't know. I just don't really see a benefit in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to make me a better person or a better runner. So I just don't want to do it. And I think like alcohol, like there's a lot of people's that lives have been like just shattered because of alcohol. So like for me, like it's just it's not my thing. I mean, I don't really care. Like I've got a lot of friends that will go out and have a good time, or buddies, but like for me, it's just not my thing. So
yeah. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
And make these decisions and sort of stick with them too, because
for sure.
who knows where all this is going to take you in life. I mean, you keep running FKTs and these crazy races. Like I said, you're young. A few years down the road, who knows where it's going to take you, but just stay on this path, man. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. What's something that most people wouldn't know about you? Like, do you have any other hobbies outside of running across the entire state of Iowa, or like what else do you get into?
Yeah. I mean, running probably like takes up most of my time, but I'll say I'm really spontaneous. So, I love like a good spontaneous road trip. Like me and my buddy, we're in Iowa, but, like a couple, maybe a month ago, he texted me, he's like, do you want to go to Chicago? It was like 9 o'clock right now. 9 o'clock, and I was like, right now? And we're like, let's go. So then we hopped in the car, and then we drove to Chicago. We spent the whole night in Chicago and drove back in the morning. And then we drove out to California.
Whoa.
And I mean, this one wasn't like the night before or anything, but like we hopped in the car. I hopped in the car, and I was like, what route are we taking? Like we didn't know anything. We didn't know where we were staying. We were like just we found like these little hostels on the way. We didn't even know we were coming home. Like we left at like like, I don't know, we'll just go till we're bored, I guess. We'll just be back for school. So I say like, I love being spontaneous and like road trips. I like road tripping. So
Yeah.
that's hobby.
What are you guys doing when you're out road tripping? You guys just like eating, listening to music? Like, what are you guys getting up to?
Yeah. So, I mean, when we went to California, we did 33 hours straight. We did, and like things were getting weird at the end. Like,
Dude, that's good ultra training right there.
it really was. So we did that. And then the only problem with that trip was like, we spent like the whole time in the car. Like we went to San Diego, and then like we ended up driving all the way up to San Francisco and back to Nebraska. And we did it in like 5 days, 5 or 6 days, I think. But yeah, we just like whatever sounded cool, we just went to.
Nice.
Yeah, we just exploring basically.
That's cool. That's cool. You're young, man. Do it while you're young.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know if this is gonna last forever. Just have fun
Right.
while you're young. Do all this,
That's
do all
good
this
advice.
stuff. Yeah, 100%, man. Well, good luck at Bigfoot this year, man.
Yeah,
I'll be
thank
keeping an
you.
eye on you. Yeah, good luck. I'd love to see what happens and love to get you back on the show and hear some more stories, but just keep doing what you're doing, man. Obviously the name of the show is Do Big Things. You're out there doing big things, and I
Right.
like it, man. So just keep after it, man. And if you ever come to Colorado, look me up, dude. I'm in Boulder, but if you ever make
Sweet.
it to the Leadville race or something like that, I'd love
Yeah,
to jump
I
on
see
and be a part of the crew.
you do Leadville.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Oh, let's go. I saw that big Leadville sign. Is that
Oh
like,
yeah.
what's
Yeah.
your how long have you been ultra running?
I want to say 12 years or so.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so quite a while. But yeah, I've done Leadville a couple times. That's my favorite race. I've
cool.
I've done a handful of them, but Leadville is my personal favorite. And yeah, dude, you ever make it out here? Let me know, man. I'd love to jump on the crew or take you up a couple mountains or
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure, for sure. I'll share this podcast, and we'll I'll try to get you some more listeners for sure.
Right on. Awesome, dude. Well, I appreciate you, and congrats on the FKT, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. I
I'll keep
appreciate
an eye
it.
on you, and looking forward to see more FKTs and more races. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
cool. Keep getting after it,
Thank you
buddy.
so much. Appreciate it.
Cool. All right. Have a good day, brother.
Yes, you too.
All right. Bye.